People often tell us that we should invest and grow our money so that you can huat big and retire comfortably as an old abet or old ama. But the issue comes when you ask them, invest in what? Because most of the time, the answer is either too general and may not be suitable for you. Like if you ask Buffett Gong Gong, he will tell you to invest in the S&P 500 index fund. Then if you ask the Singapore FI subreddit, internet strangers will tell you to invest in the VWRA, All World Index Fund. Meanwhile, big investors like AK71 is personally investing in dividend stocks for passive income. So, who's right here? That's why in this video, I'll be sharing how I think someone should be investing at every age. But of course, don't take this as financial advice, as this may or may not apply to you, because I don't know your personal circumstances, your financial situation, and your risk tolerance. So just view this as a starting point to help you kickstart your investment journey. And before I start, do join my 10,000 members Telegram chat group to discuss or ask any questions that you might have. Alright, let's start with investing in your 20s. This is the age where we become from a boy to a man or a girl to woman. And for many, this is the first time where we will enter the workforce and start earning money. Because of that, this will be the best time to build good financial habits which you will carry along with you as you grow older. So, the most important thing to learn at this age is to avoid being sucked into the lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is when you go from being a broke college student to a slightly richer working adult. And boom, all of a sudden, it seems like you can buy whatever you want. Like the monthly Shopee sales lah, new iPhone every year lah, or Pao Cha every day. Don't do that because it's always better to be rich than to look rich. No one cares how rich you look anyway. At this age, you are likely to have little to no financial commitments, making this the best time to start building your savings. Unless you accidentally go and shotgun someone, then your expenses will be higher. But even then, it's still possible to save money if you are smart with how you are spending it. The next thing you should do is to build up your emergency funds. This will act as a safety net in case of emergencies, like you accidentally kena accident, or your boss accidentally fire you, and so on. Generally, it's recommended to keep anywhere between 3 to 12 months worth of expenses as your emergency fund. But I would say, given that you are probably still living with your parents, it's okay to have less emergency funds saved up, while we focus on other more important stuff first, like paying off your student loan, getting insurance, and building your first investment portfolio. Make sure to keep your emergency funds at places where you can access the money immediately. For this, high-yield savings accounts would be the best place, as the cash is super liquid and you get to earn some interest at the same time. Otherwise, you can also check out money market funds, which are currently giving around 3+% return. Though, don't go all in on them, as money market funds have a withdrawal period of 2 to 3 days. Also, given that interest rates are about to come down soon, you can also park a portion of your savings into Singapore savings bond to lock in the high yields for the next 10 years. That's because the nice thing about SSBs is that you can redeem your bonds and get back your money within 1 month. Once you have your emergency funds set up, the next thing to do is to get insurance. Yes, I know that many people hate paying for insurance, especially when they look healthy. But trust me, there's a super high chance that you will need it one day. For example, there's a 1 in 4 to 5 chance that you may develop cancer in your lifetime. So it's best to get insurance when you are still young and healthy, so that you can get insured without any pre-existing conditions being excluded while locking in cheaper premiums. If you prefer to do this yourself and save on the fees, you can always get your insurance online via websites like Compare First. But if you need guidance, you can also contact Haven, an insurance provider who aims to provide a safe place for anyone who's looking to get insurance without being oversold or pressure sold, while minimizing potential conflict of interest. But just a disclaimer, I'm their affiliate, so I'll be earning a small kickback if you get insurance through them. But in return, you will also get a $20 cashback as a small thank you. Right now, Tiger Brokers is running a shares transfer in promo, which lets you get up to 400 SGD cash rewards and a MacBook Pro. But first, here's how easy it is to transfer shares into Tiger Brokers. In the app, tap on Portfolio, More, select Shares Transfer In. You will then need to fill in the information of your shares. Depending on how much shares you transfer in, you will get to enjoy different rewards. For example, if you transfer in at least 10,000 SGD worth of shares, you will receive 200 SGD cash voucher. Or if you transfer in $200,000 worth of shares, you will receive 400 SGD cash voucher and 8 lucky draw chances to win a free MacBook Pro. Then, once the transfer in is complete, you can also email Tiger Brokers with the transfer in info within 15 business days to get a free transfer fee subsidy of up to 200 SGD. Last but not least, if you are a new user, you will also stand to receive rewards of up to $1,260 with Tiger Brokers' latest welcome promotion, depending on which task you can fulfill. So if you are interested, you can sign up for a Tiger Trade account using my link down below. Meanwhile, also make sure to quickly pay off any high interest debts that you have, such as student loan, credit card debt, as well as Along loans. Personally, I consider anything above 4.5% as high interest debt. That's because if the interest is lower than that, it's better to just invest the money into fixed deposits or T-bills to earn a guaranteed 3+% return instead. Once you have done all that, you are now finally ready to invest. But let's be honest, you investing your $100 or $1,000 in your 20s isn't going to make you a millionaire anytime soon. Instead, the bigger reason to invest now is just to kickstart your investment journey so that you can learn good investment habits and making all the mistakes possible while you still don't have that much money to lose yet. One great way to start investing is by following the Kueh Lapis strategy by Mr. Lu from 1M65, where we first build a good financial foundation and slowly work our way up to riskier assets for higher return. For example, we can first start by topping up $8,000 every year to our CPF MA and SA while receiving tax relief. This will give us a steady per BP guaranteed interest of anywhere between 4 to 5% and will form our safety net to secure our retirement, even if all our investments fail. After that, we can build our next base by investing in a broad-based market index fund, whether it's the S&P 500 index fund, which tracks the best companies in the US, or the All-World Index Fund, which tracks the best companies in the world. Also, make sure to set up an auto investment plan so that you are automatically investing in the market every month and get an average return from the market. Because while perfect timing can give you the highest returns, realistically, nobody can time the markets perfectly unless you are Fatco or Nancy Pelosi. And even though lump sum investing gives you the second highest return, most new investors would be super depressed when they see that they are losing money on all their investments. So the next best alternative is to just dollar cost average, where you are not getting the highest return, but you are not getting the lowest return either. Then once you have these two bases set up, if you want to, you can also take the opportunity to learn about investing and yourself as much as possible, so that you will avoid mistakes that will cost a lot more in the future. Like if you think that you can time the market, or if you are interested in stock picking, you can set aside a small amount of money to test this out. That way, you will find out whether you are a better investor than Warren Buffett or not. And trust me, the earlier you find that out, the better off you will be. Next, as a young investor who have the most time and energy on hand, as compared to older apex and older amas, using the money to invest in yourself will give you a way higher return than any other investments that you will ever make. For example, if you learn photography, video editing or programming, you can then pick up extra side hustles to earn some side income while giving you more options later on in life. Also, learning new skills can cost little to no money. For example, there are a ton of free tutorials on YouTube. Otherwise, you can also use your SkillsFuture credits to pay for courses on Coursera and Udemy. And even when you are paying extra money for courses, if the knowledge can be applied in a vocation or a specific area in your industry, you can also get up to $5,500 worth of tax reliefs. So that's nice. Moving on to your 30s, as you earn more, you will also get to save and invest more. But you know lah, everything is expensive in Singapore ma. So always be mindful and don't let lifestyle inflation creep up. At this age, you are probably going to get married, buy a house and start a family, assuming if you have a partner of course. And given that you have a bigger responsibility now, it's good to review your insurance portfolio once again to see if there's any gaps in your wealth protection and cover any shortfalls if needed. Also, when you turn 30, you will automatically be enrolled into a national insurance scheme called CareShield Life. Huh? What's that? CareShield Life is a long-term care insurance which covers you in the event of severe disability. Though, you don't have to worry about this as the premiums for a basic plan can be covered by your CPF MA funds. Next, make sure to separate your finances into short-term, mid-term, and long-term savings, as that will allow you to park your money at the right places for the best liquidity and risk to reward. For example, short-term savings are savings that you need like tomorrow or next week or next month. In that case, you can only park them in little to no risk assets like high-interest savings accounts, money market funds, and Singapore savings bonds. Then, mid-term savings are savings that you need anywhere within 1 to 10 years time, such as money for your vacation, wedding, new house, and so on. For this, you can look to park your money in Singapore savings bonds or places like Endowus Cashmart Enhanced, StashAway Silver Plus, or UOB AM Cash Plus Extra to try and get a higher return. Though, they come with a slightly higher risk of losing money, of course. And finally, you can continue to invest any money that you don't need within the next 10 years, while sticking to the Kueh Lapis investment strategy that we have talked about earlier. And given that your income is higher now, you might also want to consider topping up your SRS every year. SRS, or Supplementary Retirement Scheme, is a voluntary scheme which allows you to save for retirement while saving on taxes at the same time. For example, if you are a Singaporean who's earning 100k a year, you'll be in the 11.5% tax bracket, right? But if you contribute the maximum amount of $15,300 to SRS, you will get to save a whopping $1,759.50 in taxes every year. Then, when you eventually withdraw your SRS money at the statutory retirement age at 63, only 50% of the withdrawals are taxable. But of course, after topping up your SRS, you must not let it sit there like a lazy bum. That's because the SRS accounts only gives a sibei tiny 0.05% interest. So if you want to get a higher return, you will need to invest the money into places such as stocks, REITs, ETFs, bonds, Singapore savings bonds, robo-advisor, and even fixed deposits. But if you are looking to invest and grow your money over the long term, you can again invest in broad-based market index funds. For S&P 500, you can either go with Amundi Prime USA Fund or the iShares US Index Fund S&P 500, which can be found in Endowus. Then for all world index funds, you can go with the Amundi Index MSCI World Fund, which can also be found in Endowus. Next, when you are in your 40s and 50s and possibly experiencing a midlife crisis, you may want to start preparing for your retirement. For this, the first thing you can do is to make CPF nominations. This is so that CPF knows who to distribute your CPF savings to, just in case you know. Besides that, you should also start doing up your will. And no, there's no such thing as pantang, because it's always better to plan for the future rather than letting your descendants fight over who gets your Pokemon card collection and your box of questionable objects. If you want to just do a simple will, OCBC has a free will writing service, which you can do by yourself. And yes, this will is valid as long as it's signed by you and 2 witnesses. Otherwise, if you think that it's super mafan and you don't want to do it yourself, you can always pay a few $100 for will writing service. Besides that, you may also want to do up a lasting power of attorney. This allows you to appoint someone to act on your behalf in the event you lose your mental capacity. Right now, the application fee is waived till 2026, though you will still need to pay a doctor to get him to certify your LPA. As for your investments, given that you are reaching retirement soon, you might want to slowly switch over to more conservative holdings. This is so that your portfolio doesn't end up getting stuck in a lost decade, or worse, crash by 50% and require 20 to 30 years to recover. So for example, if you are going all in on S&P 500, you may want to allocate some percentage to safer Singapore dividend stocks, such as Singapore REITs or local bank stocks, or even Singapore dividend ETFs. Yes, I know that Singapore dividend stocks do not stonks, but the good thing about them is that they are typically less volatile and can give you a steady POMPP passive income of anywhere between 3 to 6% a year. Plus, good companies will raise their dividends over time, which activates the magic of compounding. So the longer you stay invested in them, the more dividends you will get to receive later on. Not just that, by investing in local stocks, you will also get to avoid currency risk, dividend withholding tax, and estate tax, which lets you save more money. But what about bonds? Thankfully, if you have been diligently topping up your CPF, you won't have to worry about the bonds component. That's because once you reach the full retirement sum, CPF will give you a money payout of around $1,600 every year for as long as you live. What? For as long as you live? Yes, for as long as you live. So the bond component of your investment portfolio is already taken care of. Also, once you turn 55, you will be allowed to withdraw anywhere from 5k to anything above your FRS from your CPF. But of course, if you don't need the money, it's best to leave it alone because funds in your OA will earn a decent 2.5% interest and you can withdraw from it anytime like an ATM. So that's nice. At this age, you will also be eligible to get subsidized health screenings under the National Health Screening Program. This includes screenings for obesity, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, diabetes, and so on. Finally, when you are in your 60s, it is now time to retire and enjoy life if you haven't been doing so already. This is a magical moment for every Singaporean because when we turn 65, you can finally start receiving our CPF life payouts. But of course, if you don't need the money, it's best to delay your payouts till the age of 70 so that your savings can continue to compound for a few more years to give you higher money payouts later on. Oh yeah, if you are wondering which CPF life plans you should go for, personally, I feel that the basic plan would be the best, since only 10 to 20% of the amount will be deducted as your CPF life premium, while the rest remains in your retirement account and continues to earn up to 6% interest. This means when you eventually pass away, your descendants will get to receive whatever that's left of your CPF savings, including the interest that you earn in your RA. This is unlike the standard plan and the escalating plan, where all your RA savings will be used to pay for the CPF life premium and you won't get to pass down any of the interest earned from CPF life. At 63 years old, you can also start withdrawing money from your SRS every year over a 10-year withdrawal period. And if you've done it correctly, you should be paying little to no taxes. Besides that, you may also want to look at unlocking value from your home. For example, there's the Silver Housing Bonus Scheme, where if you downgrade your current property to a 3-room or smaller flat, while topping up your CPF RA with sales proceeds of up to 60k, your households will receive up to 30k in cold hard cash. Otherwise, you can also check out the lease buyback scheme, which lets you sell the remaining lease of your home back to HDB and receive a cash bonus of up to 30k while you still get to continue living in your current home. This is useful especially if you are living in an HDB because you know HDB is worth $0 after 99 years. So instead of passing down a depreciating asset to your descendants, you might as well extract some value out of it before it gets to zero. Last but not least, even after you have retired, you shouldn't become a lazy bum and stay at home all day and watch TV. It's always important to stay active even after you have retired, like these sibei fit Apex who can run faster than your ama. For this, check out the Healthy 365 app, which shows you all the free exercise sessions that you can participate in, whether you are an Apek, ama, aboy, or girl. So that was a quick guide on how to invest at every age, whether it's your money, skill set, or health. Hopefully, you found this useful. Remember to like, share, and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.